Amu first went to school in May 1906, and at about age 12, he entered the Peki Bleko EP boarding middle school, where he showed much interest in and love for music and agriculture. Amu passed the Standard 7 school leaving certificate examination and also passed the Abetifi Teachers Seminary examination. In 1916, he and two other colleagues had to walk 150 miles from Peki to Abetifi with their boxes on their heads to start teacher training education. Dr. Ephraim Amu, later Tata Amu, attained national stature very early in life, and as a creative artist and an intellectual. He combined the role of as a musician with that of an educator, social critic, and cultural activist. Tata Amu was concerned not only with the theory and practice of music and related arts, but also with larger issues of tradition and innovation, as well as change and progress, the role of patriotism in nation building, and the moral code of civil society. He always had something inspiring or thought-provoking to say in his songs and reflections. Just some genesis of the Ephraim Amu Memorial Lectures. The Ephraim Amu Memorial Lectures, or this particular lecture series, was instituted in the Ghana Academy of Arts and Sciences through the initiative of Emeritus Professor J.H. Kwabena Nketia in 1999. The maiden lecture was delivered the same year by Emeritus Professor J.H. Kwabena Nketia on the topic, Synoptic Portrait of Amu. Subsequently, the Amu Memorial Lecture Series has been delivered by eminent scholars, most of whom are themselves fellows of the Ghana Academy of Arts and Sciences. And this evening, we are very privileged to have the Vice President for the Arts section chairing this important lecture. Professor Joseph R.A. Ayi is a Vice President Arts section of the Ghana Academy of Arts and Sciences, and he's actually occupied this role since January 2023. He held the positions of Rector, Deputy Vice Chancellor, Dean, and Head of Department in some higher education institutions. He was elected a Fellow of the Ghana Academy of Arts and Sciences in 2005 and served as Assistant Honorary Secretary for the Arts section between 2014 and 2015, as well as Honorary Treasurer between 2016 and 2017. He was the occupant of the UNESCO United Nations University Leadership Academy, Chair in Leadership Studies, University of Jordan in 2001, and the Emeka Ayonko Visiting Chair of Commonwealth Studies, Institute of Commonwealth Studies, University of London in 2013. He served as a member of a team of experts that drafted Ghana's National Decentralization Policy Framework and Action Plan 2015 to 2019 and the National Decentralization Policy and Strategy 2020 to 2024.
Speaker this evening is Professor Kofi Ejekum, a Ghanaian professor of linguistics at the University of Ghana. He was born on 21st March 1954, so he turned 70. Welcome to the seventh floor. He turned 70 about 2 months ago, so belated congratulations to you. He is married with 3 young adults, 1 male and 2 females. He was the acting dean of the School of Performing Arts, University of Ghana from 2014 to 2021, acting director, School of Performing Arts, University of Ghana 2013 to 2014, co-coordinator, English Akan Science Dictionary Project, head of Department of Linguistics, University of Ghana 2010 to 2013, and co-coordinator, Account Dictionary Project, University of Ghana from 1997 to 2007. His areas of research are ethnography of communication, linguistics, anthropology, pragmatics, discourse analysis, language and politics, mother tongue education, sociolinguistics, stylistics, semantics, cognitive semantics, body part expressions, translation, terminology, lexicology, lexicography, and oral literature. Professor Jekum has published in many renowned international and local journals, such as Pragmatics and Cognition, Journal of Pragmatics Discourse Studies, Language and Dialogue, Journal of Language and Politics, Anthropological Research, Language and Society, International Journal of Language and Culture, International Journal of Language and Communication, RASK, Metaphor and the Social World, Cognitive Linguistics, Science, etc. His latest books are Akan Kasadrin and Akan Body Part Expressions. He is an internationally recognized Akan and ethnography of communication scholar and has been quoted and consulted by scholars and institutions at both local and international levels.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening again. I'm grateful for the opportunity to contribute to the series of Ephraim Amu Memorial Lectures. The topic of my lecture is the significance of Ephraim Amu's defiance of cultural imperialism. There are many definitions of cultural imperialism. However, in this presentation, I shall operate with the definition given by Oliver Barrett, who writes, and I quote, "Central to the many definitions of the term cultural imperialism is the idea of the culture of one powerful civilization, country, or institution having great unreciprocated influence on that of another less powerful entity, to a degree that one may speak of a measure of cultural domination." So under cultural imperialism, there's somebody dominating another. And if we move further, we are going to find out that cultural imperialism encodes a lot of things. Although Amu is famously known for his pioneering contributions to ethnomusicology in Ghana, his defiance of cultural imperialism is equally important, given that the defiance was in defense of our cultural identity and dignity. Bear in mind that whoever has no identity has no dignity. So if you are here and you can't identify with any group, with any ethnic group, with any language, then you don't have dignity. And whoever has no dignity also has no identity. It is also to be noted that the notion of cultural identity does not require a people to have the autonomous capacity to practice every aspect of their culture. That is impossible. You can't do all. However dysfunctional it will be, it requires only the practice of those aspects of their culture which define their uniqueness. So if you're a Ga, there are certain aspects of Ga that will make you a Ga. Today, more than ever before, these two values, namely our cultural identity and dignity, are under significant threat. It is true that we no longer live in the colonial days of Amu, when the physically present European colonizers or their Christian missionaries used African minions to dictate what to wear, what music to play, and what language to speak at public or institutional events, and possibly what food to eat. Nevertheless, I shall argue that what we have now, namely cultural globalization, could in some respects be as deadly as, if not deadlier, than physical colonization. This is so because the quiet, faceless, and seemingly impersonal features of cultural globalization tend to hide its potential for endless social penetration scope of influence, and therefore erosion of our weaker cultures. In this tidal onslaught, a lot of vigilance and energy are required at all material times to detect significant erosions of our cultural identity and protect, preserve it. Meeting this challenge will also serve to continue the efforts, preserve the memory, and gratify the spirit of Dr. Ephraim Amu, whose purpose is to set the context of Amu's life. Section 2 teases out of Amu's biography the scope and meaning of Amu's defiance of cultural imperialism. Section 3 takes a brief look at the post-Amu age, namely the age of cultural globalization, and argues that our cultural identity and dignity are under a more serious threat now than before. And that threat requires us to engage in an ideological fight or defiance to protect and preserve them. To this end, Section 4 takes a brief look at how the state has positioned itself to preserve and protect our cultural identity and dignity. Talking about the role of the state means looking at the aspect of the Constitution that deals with culture, and also the cultural policy of Ghana, whose creation was overseen by the National Commission on Culture, which is also the main implementing agency. Section 5 is devoted to conclusions and recommendations. So, Mr. Chair, I start with Section 1, which is a brief biography of Ephraim Amu. Ephraim Koku Amu was born on Wednesday, 13 September 1899 at Peki Abetile in the Volta region of Ghana. Amu passed away on 2nd January 1995 at the age of 96. He was a renowned ethnomusicologist who composed several choral and patriotic songs. The most popular among them is Yena Yasasini, This Our Own Land, composed in 1929 when Amu was only 30 years. The song continues to inspire Ghanaian nationalism and patriotism as it is performed at national and other major public events. Other compositions of Amu are Bonmire Kente, Asemi Dika, Kona Kotutu, Yanum Abibimbe, Momayan Kosomfro that we just heard, and a slum Miele. There are many, and I can't be mentioning all of them. In recognition of Amu's phenomenal contributions to ethnomusicology and education, he received many awards, some of them posthumous. These awards include 2 honorary doctorate degrees in music, respectively awarded by the University of Ghana in 1965 and Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology in 1976. The Grand Medal of the Republic of Ghana in 1972, Order of the Volta in 1973, and then, if you remember very well, between 2002 and 2007, Amu's portrait was embossed on the 20,000 old Ghana cedis note, the highest denomination at that time, and he needs an applause for that.
Assembly,